The story of Greavy the artist is far from over. He may have finished school, but the adventure continues. Stick with us to see the rest of the journey. Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of our story on this episode of The Dungeon Crashers. I'm Guy.
And I'm Sapil. Before we continue our saga, remember to like and subscribe, and turn on that bell so you don't miss any of our exciting D&D content. Also, if you enjoy our content, please share this video with your friends and help us get the word out.
Greavy and his friends resolve the mystery that's been plaguing the school and foil the enemy behind the trouble. Greavy also completes his studies and graduates from Prismari College and is free to do as he likes. He does not, however, know what that is he wants to do. His beloved Consuela is going to join her patron on the plane of Urborg, and though he doesn't want to be separated from her, that doesn't seem the right destination for him. The dean says he should perhaps travel to the plane of Ravnica. He has a friend in the Artist Guild that he could recommend him to, a demon named Rakdos. Greavy sulks a bit, not knowing what to do, but joins his friends in celebrating before they all head off to their respective destinations. Greavy assumes his master will send him back to Rabia, at least for a time, but he doesn't hear from him until one morning, without warning, he finds himself wakened suddenly and transported to a land he does not recognize. He is inexplicably fully clothed, with his bottle, dagger, and other possessions on his person, and Guinevere hovering by his side. He sees that he is in the middle of a great battle. 5 suns glare from the sky above him, and an army of genies and elementals are waging war against machines powered by steam and strange energies. He immediately sees the machines are his master's enemies, and that the genies are on his side. He sees his master in battle with the wizard that he recognizes. Greavy takes to the sky and surrounds himself with mirror images and rushes to his master's side. A strange metallic bird is heading towards his master as well. Greavy places his hex on it and unleashes a quickened scorching ray and an eldritch blast, blasting it to pieces, but not before it launches spikes at Greavy. Fortunately, the spikes strike one of his images. Greavy quickly shrouds himself in armor of shadows and joins his master. His master says, "Ah, Greavy, just in time, my friend. I will busy the wizard with counter magic while you attack. He is almost defeated, but our forces are too well matched. I need you to get past his armies and strike the final blow." Greavy knew what he must do. Using shadow magic to make himself invisible, Greavy slipped past the forces that were supposed to block attacks against the wizard, and appears directly in front of him, shouting, "Ha ha! Remember me, the Dust Boy?" Greavy unleashes twin bolts of chaos energy that blast the wizard, one with radiant energy and one with death magic. The bolts then leap from the wizard to strike at his guardians as well, but the magic is not done yet. You feel the chaos surge within you, and a fireball extends from you in all directions. It hurts badly, but your resistance to fire protects you. The mechanical creatures that were coming to defend their master weren't so lucky, as the fire tears them to shreds. When the smoke cleared, the wizard was gone, and his army was disappearing. Ibn al-Sud places his hand on your shoulder and says, "Well done, Greavy. Let's go home."
At 11th level, Greavy takes 7th level of Warlock. He gains another spell known, and his spell slots become 4th level. His cantrips also improve at this level, gaining another damage dice or another beam for his Eldritch Blast. From his background, he adds Freedom of Movement and Wall of Fire, and his patron adds Phantasmal Killer and Fire Shield to the Warlock spell lists. Greavy takes Phantasmal Killer, which is a much more powerful version of Phantasmal Force. It can also be twinned, but it would take all of his sorcery points to do so. He also learns another Invocation, and he wants Eldritch Mind, giving him advantage on concentration checks.
Upon returning to Rabia, Greavy and Ibn al-Sud spend a few weeks at rest when a visitor arrives. Although this visitor appears to be a human, Greavy can tell it is much more. Ibn al-Sud greets the visitor warmly and says, "Galazeth, my old friend, welcome." Your master introduces his friend, but after hearing the name, Greavy already knew this was the Elder Dragon who founded his college, in human form. Greavy bows and says, "Greetings, sir, I'm honored to meet you." "And I you," said the dragon. "I find your work to be extraordinary, and am saddened to have seen you leave. I've also brought you a belated graduation gift," and holds out a small box. Greavy thanks him humbly, and awaits permission to open it. After receiving a nod, he opens the box, finding a small diamond that quickly vanishes in a burst of rainbow colors. It was beautiful, and Greavy thanked the dragon for the display, but the dragon smiled and said, "But young Greavy, it was more than simply art. Although I am pleased you appreciate its beauty, it is also a gift of power. I have added a bit of draconic magic to your spark, just to help you on your way." Not knowing the proper reaction to this, Greavy just uttered his thanks again. The dragon stayed as a guest for several days, and Greavy performed at his request. All of the genie servants attended and applauded his work. When the dragon took his leave, Greavy asked his master what he should make of this visit. Ibn al-Sud said that, like himself, Galazeth sees Greavy's potential for greatness. You will not always be my student, and Galazeth wants you as a friend when you reach your potential. On that note, I think you should take my cousin's advice and visit the plain of Ravnica. The guildmaster there is an acquaintance of mine, and he will see that you are welcomed into a troop where you can develop your art.
At 12th level, Greavy takes 8th level of Warlock, gaining an ability booster feat, and he will take Gift of the Gem Dragon. It grants a +1 to Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma in our case making it 18. It also gives the ability Telekinetic Reprisal. When you take damage from a creature within 10 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal 2d8 force damage and push the creature 10 feet. It gets a strength save versus your save DC to avoid this. Greavy also learns another spell known or can retrain a spell known. Since Hellish Rebuke is redundant with the Gift of the Gem Dragon, Greavy will trade it for Counterspell to help defend against any spellcasters that might threaten him. At 13th level, Greavy takes 9th level of Warlock. He learns another spell known, and his Warlock spell slots become 5th level. His background adds Cone of Cold and Conjure Elemental, and his patron adds Creation and Flame Strike to his Warlock spell lists. Greavy takes Conjure Elemental, seeing how his master can call allies from other worlds has convinced Greavy that he also wants this power. Greavy also learns another Invocation, and he wants Voice of the Chainmaster. Now he can communicate telepathically with Guinevere, and can perceive through her senses as long as they are on the same plane. He can also speak through her using his voice. At 14th level, Greavy takes 10th level of Warlock. He gains another gift from his patron. He finds that now not only can he rest in his bottle, he can invite his friends and allies to visit as well. Also, by spending just 10 minutes in the bottle, he and his allies can gain the benefits of a short rest. They can also add Greavy's proficiency bonus to the hit points they gain from any hit dice spent during the rest. Greavy also learns another cantrip, but not another spell known. He can, however, retrain a spell, and we probably aren't getting a lot out of Burning Hands, so we want to swap it for Hold Monster, giving the option to paralyze a foe you might not wish to harm, or simply keep them bound while you harm them.
On his master's advice, Greavy travels to the plain of Ravnica and is given membership in the Entertainers Guild, which, as it turns out, is also a cult serving the demon Rakdos. And they are also engaged in crimes such as assassination and extortion. Greavy is a bit put off by this, but his master assures him that he has much to learn, so he persists. Greavy ends up making a number of friends in the guild, and his arts becomes the talk of the city. Wealthy citizens and powerful guild leaders packed his performance halls and thrilled to his performance. Guinevere was his star performer. Rarely did he involve anyone else in his productions, but when he did, his guild could provide him with fire jugglers, acrobats, and many others who frequently had their own magic that could be choreographed into the performance. Greavy did find his work taking on a dark and melancholy feel, as the Rakdos Guild encouraged art depicting destruction, fear, and pain. Such work pleased Greavy for a while, but he began to long to create something joyous and lovely. He also participated in some of the less savory aspects of guild life, in disguise, of course, using his power to frighten those enemies of the guild and even destroy them when necessary. After a few years, the guild became involved in a dispute among the guilds, and Greavy was called to council with the powerful mages of the guild to help plan the battle. The demon Rakdos himself made Greavy a commander and put great resources at his disposal. While not trained in military tactics, Greavy is clever and powerful and gained many victories.
At 15th level, Greavy takes 11th level of Warlock, gaining Mystic Arcanum, which is a spell of 6th level that he can cast once per long rest without using a spell slot. For his Mystic Arcanum, he takes Mental Prison, which is in many ways a more powerful version of Phantasmal Killer. He gets another spell known, and at this level he takes Far Step, allowing him to teleport 60 feet each round for up to a minute. At 16th level, Greavy takes 12th level of Warlock, gaining an ability booster feat, and he's going to cap his Charisma at 20. He also learns another Invocation, and he wants Misty Visions, gaining the ability to cast Silent Image at will without using a spell slot. He can also retrain a spell, and since he no longer needs to cast Silent Image, he's going to retrain it for Ralathim's Psychic Lance, which is a 120-foot range attack that deals psychic damage. At 17th level, Greavy takes 13th level of Warlock. He gains another Mystic Arcanum. This time it can be of 7th level, and he'll take Dream of the Blue Veil, allowing him to travel across the planes. He creates a dream of the plane he wishes to be on, and then passing through the blind eternities to arrive on that plane along with his companions if he wishes. Greavy had believed that only planeswalkers could travel this way, but clearly that was a mistake. He also gets another spell known, and Greavy takes Summons Shadow Spawn. Fighting in this conflict has taught him that summoning allies is a huge advantage.
In time, the conflict is ended, with no side truly the victor. As is often the case on Ravnica, the sides came to a truce and drew up a pact settling things. When everything was said and done, Greavy realized he had learned everything he can here, so bidding goodbye to his friends and his fans, Greavy planeswalked back to Ravia to consult with his master and relax while planning his next adventure. Now, for some, activating one's spark and becoming a planeswalker is a momentous event, transforming them in fundamental ways. For Greavy, he didn't even notice, so was quite surprised at the commotion his rival in Ravia caused. Genie soldiers surrounded him in the courtyard, and Ibn el-Sud came out ready for battle. Upon seeing it was Greavy, the Efreet laughed and said, "Oh, my friend, I see it has happened. You have become a planeswalker like myself. You have much to learn, and I will be honored to continue your training, and perhaps, if you would be so kind as to permit me, I would like to still call upon you to aid me should I need your help in battle." Greavy was confused at first, but over the next few years, he learned what it meant to be a planeswalker, and how others like him will try to challenge him for power, and he will challenge others as well. Ibn el-Sud taught him many things, and helped him learn to master his new powers.
At 18th level, Greavy takes 14th level of Warlock. From his patron, he gets the ability to call upon limited wishes, using his Genie Vessel. He can use one action to gain the effect of any spell of 6th level or lower, from any class list without needing components or any other requirements meant for casting the spell. Greavy learns that he has the power to raise the dead, summon demons or angels, and many other things. Ibn el-Sud assures him that such power is part of what it means to be a planeswalker. Once this ability is used, it can't be used again for 1d4 long rests. At 19th level, Greavy takes 15th level of Warlock, gaining another Mystic Arcanum, which is of 8th level, and he takes Dominate Monster, allowing him to take control of the enemies, including creatures that other planeswalkers might send against him. He gets another spell known, and he takes Blink, giving him an excellent protection without requiring concentration. He gains another Invocation, and he takes Chains of the Carceri, allowing him to cast Hold Monster on Fiends, Fae, and Celestials at will without using a spell slot, although he must take a long rest before using it on the same creature a second time.
Greavy spends what seems like forever in the timelessness of Ravia, learning as much as he can. Eventually, he feels as if he has learned enough, and asks Ibn el-Sud if he can take his leave. His master tells him, "You are now a planeswalker. You don't need my permission, but reach out to me if you are in need, as I will to you, and don't hesitate to visit, my friend." He then asks, "Where will you go?" Greavy responds, "The plain of Urborg, I think. There's a lady there I would like to spend some time with."
At 20th level, Greavy takes 16th level of Warlock, getting a final ability booster feat, and he's going to take the Tough feat. Since he is proficient with Constitution saves and has advantage on concentration checks, he doesn't need to take any more Constitution, so the extra hit points are better use of this bonus. This is an interesting and powerful character, capable of doing spell damage, charming and holding enemies, even summoning help. It has a great damage output and a lot of versatility. More importantly is the roleplay aspect. It captures what Prismari College is all about, creating art and being passionate about everything you do. If you have any questions, comments, or build requests, please leave them in the comment section below. We hope you enjoyed the story of Greavy the Planeswalker, and we will hope you will join us next time when we do our Student of the Witherbloom College. And until next time, cheers!